Right, let's talk about billionaires. They're not just good at making money, they're masters at keeping it. It's like a game they play, a game rigged in their favor. Think of it. You earn money, you pay taxes. Billionaires? Not so much. They've got armies of accountants, lawyers, all figuring out ways to hold on to every penny. And it's not just about today's money. It's about tomorrow's and the day afters and so on. They plan for generations of wealth. Your grandkids' will still be feeling the effects. So buckle up, because we're going deep into the world of billionaire money magic. We'll expose the tricks, the loopholes, the sheer audacity of it all.
These are just legal ways to shield their money from the tax man. And let's not forget about carried interest. That's a loophole that lets hedge fund managers pay lower taxes than their secretaries. It's absurd, but it's legal. And that's all that matters to them.
Remember when Amazon bragged about paying no federal taxes? Yeah, that's not a bug in the system, that's a feature. It's all perfectly legal, of course. They've got clever accountants who know every deduction, every credit, every loophole in the tax code.
They exploit these loopholes to minimize their tax bills, even as their wealth grows exponentially. And it's not just corporations. Individuals do it too. They donate to charity and get a tax break. They invest in real estate, more tax breaks. It's a constant game of minimizing what they owe, maximizing what they keep. The result? The rich get richer, and the rest of us are left footing the bill. It's a rigged game, folks.
Okay, you've made billions. You've got the private jets, the luxury cars, and the sprawling estates. Life is good, right? But here's the kicker. Making the money is just the beginning. Now, how do you make sure it lasts longer than a Kardashian marriage? Enter dynastic wealth. This isn't just about having money. It's about creating a legacy that will outlive you by generations. This is where things get really interesting, and by interesting, I mean deeply strategic. The ultra-wealthy don't just think about their own lifetimes, they plan for their great-great-grandchildren. And by interesting, I mean deeply unfair. The disparity between the ultra-wealthy and the rest of us is staggering. While most people are trying to make ends meet, the rich are busy ensuring their wealth grows exponentially.
See, most of us, we inherit some furniture, maybe a house if we're lucky, but the ultra-wealthy, they pass down empires. Generations worth of wealth, all meticulously planned and executed. Maybe a house if we're lucky. But the ultra-wealthy, they pass down empires. Generations worth of wealth, all carefully structured to avoid things like, oh, I don't know, inheritance tax. Think about the Waltons, the heirs to the Walmart fortune. Think about the Waltons, heirs to the Walmart fortune. Or the Koch brothers. These families have wealth so vast it's practically its own ecosystem. Or the Koch brothers. Their wealth is so vast it's practically its own ecosystem. It just keeps growing even if they never actually work a day in their lives. Their wealth is so vast it's practically its own ecosystem. It just keeps growing even if they never actually work a day in their lives. And that's the point. It's practically its own ecosystem. It just keeps growing, even if they never actually work a day in their lives. And that's the point. It's not about hard work anymore, even if they never actually work a day in their lives. And that's the point. It's not about hard work anymore. It's about lineage, about being born into the right family.
And that's the point. It's not about hard work anymore. It's about lineage, about being born into the right family. The American dream, folks, it's not about hard work anymore. It's about lineage, about being born into the right family. The American dream, folks, turns out it's more like a rigged lottery. It's about lineage, about being born into the right family. The American dream, folks, turns out it's more like a rigged lottery. The Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, the Kennedys, they all knew this. Turns out it's more like a rigged lottery. The Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, the Kennedys, they all knew this. They built their fortunes to last, ensuring their descendants would never have to worry about money. And that's the real secret to wealth that transcends generations.
Section 5, the education divide, grooming heirs and maintaining inequality. Now you might think, well, maybe those billionaire kids are just super smart and hardworking. And sure, some might be, but let's be real. They've also had a helping hand, a very expensive, very exclusive helping hand. We're talking about elite education. Think Ivy League schools, exclusive boarding schools, private tutors flown in from Switzerland. These kids aren't just learning algebra, they're learning how to manage wealth, how to make connections, how to maintain the family's grip on power. And let's not forget about the good old boys network. These kids grow up surrounded by other wealthy, well-connected individuals. By the time they're old enough to drink, legally of course, they've already got a Rolodex full of future CEOs and politicians. It's a self-perpetuating cycle of privilege. The rich get richer, their kids get richer, and the rest of us are left wondering how to pay for our internet bills.
But it's not just about the money. It's about the access, the opportunities, the doors that are opened simply because of a last name or a family connection. These kids are groomed from a young age to take over the family business, to step into roles of power and influence. They attend the best schools, not just for the education, but for the network. They meet other kids who will grow up to be the leaders of tomorrow, creating a web of influence that spans industries and continents. And while they're learning how to manage wealth and make connections, they're also learning how to keep others out, how to maintain the exclusivity that keeps their circle small and powerful. It's a system designed to perpetuate itself, to ensure that the wealth and power stay concentrated in the hands of a few. And it's a system that starts with education. So the next time you see a young billionaire, remember that it's not just about hard work and intelligence. It's about a system that has been designed to keep them at the top and to keep the rest of us out.
And let's not forget about the good old boys network. These kids grow up surrounded by other wealthy, well-connected individuals. By the time they're old enough to drink, legally of course, they've already got a Rolodex full of future CEOs and politicians. It's a self-perpetuating cycle of privilege.
The rich get richer, their kids get richer, and the rest of us are left wondering how to pay for our internet bills. The cycle continues, and the gap widens. The education divide is not just about who gets the best grades, but about who gets the best start in life. Section 6. Philanthropy with strings attached. Reputation laundering and tax breaks. Now, before you think all billionaires are evil villains, they do give some money away. It's called philanthropy. But even their giving is strategic.
They slap their names on buildings, fund art galleries, donate to worthy causes. It's all very generous, of course. But it also comes with a hefty tax deduction and a side of good PR.
See, philanthropy can be a great way to deflect criticism. You're not just a heartless billionaire hoarding wealth, you're a philanthropist saving the world.
And don't even get me started on donor-advised funds. These are basically charitable trusts that let the wealthy control where their money goes, even after they're gone. It's like having your cake, eating it, and then deciding who gets the crumbs.
Section 7. The illusion of meritocracy. Why it's nearly impossible to catch up. Here's the thing about wealth inequality. It creates a system where it's nearly impossible for ordinary people to catch up. We're told we live in a meritocracy, that if you work hard, you can achieve anything.
But the reality is, the starting line is different for everyone. Some people are born on third base, while others are stuck trying to outrun a rigged system. The ultra-rich have created a system where the odds are stacked in their favor.
They benefit from tax loopholes, inheritance laws, and an education system that reinforces their advantages. And all the while, they tell us to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. The problem is, most of us can't even afford boots.
Section 8. A rigged game calls for change and the future of wealth distribution. The disparity between the rich and the poor has never been more glaring. As the wealthy continue to amass fortunes, the rest of society struggles to make ends meet. This isn't just a coincidence, it's a systemic issue. So what can we do about this? How do we address such a deeply entrenched problem? The first step is awareness. We need to recognize the problem before we can solve it. Well, for starters, we can stop pretending it's not happening. Ignoring the issue only allows it to fester and grow. We need to have open and honest conversations about wealth distribution. We need to acknowledge that the system is rigged, and it's rigged to benefit the few at the expense of the many. This isn't just about taxes, it's about the entire economic structure that favors the wealthy. We need to close those tax loopholes, the ones that allow billionaires to pay a lower tax rate than their housekeepers. These loopholes are a glaring example of how the system is designed to benefit the rich. It's absurd that in our society, those who have the most pay the least. This isn't just unfair, it's unsustainable. We need a tax system that ensures everyone pays their fair share. We need to reform inheritance laws so wealth doesn't just trickle up to the already wealthy. Inheritance should be a way to provide for future generations, not a tool to perpetuate inequality. By reforming these laws, we can ensure a more equitable distribution of wealth. This isn't about punishing success, it's about creating opportunities for everyone. And for God's sake, let's invest in education and healthcare for everyone, not just those who can afford it. These are basic human rights, not privileges for the wealthy. Education and healthcare are the foundations of a thriving society. By investing in these areas, we can create a more level playing field and give everyone a fair shot at success. It's time to level the playing field, folks. We need to take action now to ensure a fairer future for all. This isn't just about economics, it's about justice and equality. The future of our society depends on it. If we continue down this path, the divide will only grow wider, leading to more social unrest and instability. Because right now, the game is rigged. The rules are set up to benefit the few at the expense of the many. This isn't just a problem for the poor, it's a problem for everyone. And it's time to change the rules. We need to come together, demand change, and work towards a more equitable future. The time for action is now.